Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. You know what day it is. It's Babylon 5 time as we watch Season 2, Episode 4, A Distant Star. Nothing to it but to do it, my friends. If you could do me a quick favor first, though, and hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to board Babylon 5. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like earlier in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, please consider sticking with us here on YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes about a day early, plus any bonus episodes we come up with. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to watch one of the greatest tales ever told as we watch Babylon 5 Season 2, Episode 4, A Distant Star. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! Right into it. Damn, I love that.
I want to send a message to Babylon 5. Attention of Captain John Sheridan. And, take this down exactly.
All right, dickhead. Put your boots up. I was going to improvise whatever you put down.
From Captain Maynard of the Cortez.
Maynard.
It's, rather rude, sir.
Rude?
Unless all your friends call you Swamp Rat.
Swamp Rat.
How many Explorer-class ships have visited Babylon 5?
None. Until now.
Well, you're in for a real treat.
Explorer class, really? Damn! How big is it in comparison to Babylon? Whoa! Holy shit!
Impressive.
5 years? Wow.
Take a good look, people. If you're supremely lucky, you may see 2 ships like her in your lifetime.
Captain, I believe your friend Stinky has arrived.
Oh, Sheridan. Stinky Maynard.
A shining beacon in space.
All alone in the night. The lights come on.
The age of mankind, the year the Great War came upon us all.
Jesus, it's chills.
This is the story of the last of the Babylon stations. The year is 2259. The name of the place is
Babylon 5. I'm so psyched. I gotta calm myself down. I have stopped drinking coffee as much before I watch Babylon 5 because I realize I'm getting a little hectic when I watch it. And I think you all told me, at least I gleaned it somehow through the safe comments, that JMS was not a fan of the fighter pilot character, that was sort of forced on him. That's interesting. I didn't think that he would acquiesce to something like that.
Really great to see you, Jack.
Just size that damn thing.
Last I heard, you were heading for the rim.
Yeah, we spent 2 years mapping most of Sector 900. You'll probably get the updated star charts in about a month.
Sector 900.
Jack, this is Ambassador Delenn of the Minbari Federation. Ambassador, Captain Jack Maynard.
Ambassador?
I'm gonna say it.
I was hoping to convene a meeting of the council later this week to discuss the problems in Sector 19.
I don't like her with hair.
She doesn't look like one. I mean, she does, but she doesn't. I mean, what's the deal?
Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
There's the story she told us, but then the Minbari never tell you the whole truth.
I know what you mean.
I like how Sheridan's still carrying a bit of Minbari resentment.
Running here, John.
Yeah, that's big, beautiful.
Look at this shot.
There's more going on here every minute of every day than anywhere else I've ever served. Yeah, it's quite a job.
Never thought I'd see you in one like it.
No, he didn't like that.
Forget it. Too much salt and no
I-
bread.
Come on, Doc. No salt, no bread, no anchovies, no bunya counter.
Tough.
Doc, I'm not gonna listen to you.
Here. This is what you can eat, see? All kinds of things.
I like how you had that printer ready. That's awesome.
Well, I'm not only serious about you following the plan, but this gives me the perfect excuse to call all ranking station personnel for a naturogenic factor profile.
So we can all thank you for this.
Mr. Garibaldi. You'll be needing these.
Will I?
And Mr. Garibaldi, I will be monitoring you closely.
Waste your time if you wish, Doctor. You're going to see things you do not like.
The Vorlons had some kind of an agenda that no one can understand.
No, no shit.
And Ambassador Delenn was hibernating in some kind of a cocoon. And that was just the end of the first day.
So are you handling it?
I'm drinking a lot.
I always figured we'd be having this drink out on the rim somewhere. You always said you wanted an explorer ship.
Oh, really?
Funny he should pick someone that the Minbari don't particularly like.
Well,
This isn't exactly what you trained for. It's not really what you wanted.
Jack, I can make a difference here.
Nice. He just needs purpose, Jack.
Die-hard spacer like you would wind up tied to a desk.
I've been working on my backhanded compliments, John.
We're running checks on the security system videos in the stores to see if we can pick up any familiar faces. I've double the Zocalo watch in the rush hours.
What do we have, thieves?
Expect a full report when you've apprehended the thieves, understood?
But I thought you wanted to know everything that went on in the station.
Everything important, Mr. Garibaldi. I expect you to handle the details in terms of security.
Remember you said that, then.
Well, there was that time that you took leave on Mars and that dancer, as I recall.
Captain Sheridan,
Yes, Captain Maynard.
July 12th, 2253.
Got dirt on you, too.
We're hoping to build 2 new jump gates by the end of the year, and then have Earth follow up with survey ships.
Captain, you've done a lot more traveling in hyperspace than just about anybody else here.
Universe Today had a story a couple of months ago asking if something was living in hyperspace.
Nothing can live in hyperspace.
Well, what do you say, Captain?
But there's something out there. I think it's stranger than any one of us can imagine.
Really? Like, so this, like, their hyperspaces, I'm assuming the space in the jump gate.
You weren't just yanking their chains a little, building up a story to tweak their imaginations?
No.
He doesn't seem like
I
a
saw
storyteller.
something once.
What'd you say?
Go on.
Please don't tell me it's like a shadowy ship.
We were in Sector 857. I took my nav officer, Lieutenant Patrick, with me for a look around on one of our scout ships. Just about ready to turn back when I saw something. It was maybe 1,000 kilometers away.
Is he
Black
bullshitting?
against space.
Ooh.
Did your nav officer see it?
Oh, he says he saw a blink, a change in space. But it's there, and it was real.
No shit, man.
Sends a shiver up my back when I think about it.
This guy's a rim explorer captain, too, and he got destabilized by the sight of this thing. That's a note right there.
Freighters don't like to carry stuff like this because they can give space to lighter weight items. Man, I'm gonna have to hump to get this, even if I can get it at all.
All right.
I like this guy. I know this actor.
Look, I'm working on it. That's all I can say.
All right, good enough. Oh, one last thing.
That's where I know him from.
Don't mention this to Dr. Franklin, okay?
Oh, okay, no problem. But that's gonna cost you.
Why?
Much for you to say nothing to everybody.
Oh, you couldn't afford it.
I love that character. Nothing to everybody? Nah, you can't afford that. Great line.
Here's a list of foods I want you to avoid. No meat, low fat, lots of vegetables.
Rabbit food.
Yeah, Doc, you need to get off this shit.
Well, a doctor and his patient are a team, Captain. Don't you agree?
Sure. And since we're a team, why don't you do the diet part?
You can't order him.
There is concern among our people here on Babylon 5, meaning no disrespect. They worry that you are no longer one of us.
Ooh.
I'm more one of us at this moment than I have ever been. More than you will ever know.
I don't like her with hair. It's a hard thing to sell for me.
We need to understand what is happening.
Understanding is not required, only obedience.
Ooh.
To our own kind, yes. But that is the question. Are you any longer our own kind? We have a right to know.
Do we even listen to you anymore? Holy shit. Ooh, shit. Question of identity.
No, I have no objections. Is there anything else?
No. Thank you.
Yeah, what's she gonna say? I mean, she has to agree to it.
Well,
I'll have you know I don't have an ounce of fat on my body. I exercise vigorously once a day despite my injury,
yeah,
and
but when you do eat, you don't eat enough of the right things. You have deficiencies in calcium.
Doc, she's gonna kill you.
Figures. All my life I've fought against imperialism. Now suddenly, I am the expanding Russian frontier.
but with very nice borders.
Jesus!
I'll see you when you come back this way again.
Well, it might be a few years.
I sure wish I were going with you.
Yeah, the big empty has a way of grabbing at a man.
The big empty. Love that.
Duty hours, routine, dull stuff half the time. Every once in a while something interesting happens, but, you know, the adventure's all in the mind.
The adventure is out there, Jack. A man has to go meet it.
Well,
You're gonna have plenty of adventure here, John.
wait for it, Johnny.
Yep.
Now listen, Swamp Rat. You hold this place together, you hear me? I'd like to come back to it.
I do like the fact that he's breaking uniform protocol with his, I guess they're like snake skin boots. I gave him a little shit at the front end, but Maynard's a bit of a space cowboy, and they're really playing into that. I like it. Which leads us to that question, does John want to be a space cowboy? I think the answer is yes, but
May I?
he doesn't realize he's already there.
This is Babylon Control, Cortez. You're cleared for jump.
Look at that big old son of a bitch. Cool, man. Cool ass ship. Babylon 5 absolutely excels at ship design. Oh, so good.
He claims they smell bad, which, of course, they do, and that he's downwind of them.
I assume you explained that
There's no wind.
recycled and there is no wind up or down.
If you feel a wind in the station, we're in deep shit.
He also insists that you and only you can straighten out this matter to his satisfaction.
Boy.
Ever since the Cortez arrived, you just haven't been yourself. I thought perhaps you'd like to talk about it.
The grass is always greener. The empty is always bigger, I guess.
The petty complaints, the endless bickering, the constant negotiations.
Difference between Jeff and John.
I can't find a thing on it. You know me. Is this me?
Starships run on details. You've always run a tight ship. That's an admirable trait. B5 can never run in quite the same way.
Too many variables.
But you've had to settle your share of crew squabbles in your time, so forgive me for saying this, but it must be something more than just that.
Give it to him, Susan. I love it.
Maynard is right.
I want to be a space cowboy.
Running B5 takes just as much energy, intelligence, and patience as it does to command a starship.
It's more important, buddy.
I'll tell you one thing. If the primates that we came from had known that someday politicians would come out of the gene pool, they'd have stayed up in the trees and written evolution off as a bad idea.
Damn.
You're here because the president thought you could handle it.
Woo!
As your executive officer, I have the right to know.
Can you?
Was he wrong?
Yeah. Come on, John. You can transition here. Get your shit together.
What's our ETA on the other side of it?
They would not be showing us this. Yep.
What's our flight status?
Power's down 30%. We're flying blind. After we jumped, the fusion reactor spiked when it came back online.
Meaning we've lost the lock-on signal from the jump gate.
Yes, sir. Without it, we can't find our way out of hyperspace.
Oh my God. I just got chills. They're lost in hyperspace.
I made him give back all the stolen stuff and assign him to community service.
There you go.
This is all his fault, you know.
Wait a minute.
I agree. This whole diet thing is your fault.
Food plan.
Whatever. Well, what are we gonna do about it?
Ignore it.
Do it nicely.
Oh.
Oh my God. This is terrifying. I never even thought about this. Like hyperspace being a...
Power's coming back, but the navigation's shot to hell, Captain.
Can you fix it?
We have the parts, but not the time. It'll take 48 hours minimum. By that time, we'll be swept so far, of course, we'll never find the lock-on.
Go back. Can you turn around and go back to your original point?
Start transmitting a Mayday.
A transmission's pretty iffy this far into hyperspace, sir.
Well, send it anyhow. Something may get through.
If you...
Getting a message from the Cortez. It's a Mayday.
This is Cortez. There's been an incident to navigate instruments. No lock-on signal. We are stranded in hyperspace. Lost.
God, that would be terrifying to hear that. Your buddy's on there?
Send this response immediately. Your signal has been received and help is on the way.
Ah.
No ship lost in hyperspace has ever been found again.
I know.
Wow. Big lore dump on hyperspace here.
Even if I weren't curious from a scientific point of view, I'm still a doctor and you're my patient. I have to make sure you're not suffering any side effects of your
metamorphosis.
How are the other Minbari reacting to your situation?
Fine.
They accept this without question?
Of course.
I
don't know. I only heard Mr. Garibaldi mention to someone that he was awaiting their arrival. I believe they're called Banya Cauda?
Loose lips sink ships, Delenn.
Something has brought her down in hyperspace. As the commander has reminded me, no one has ever recovered a ship from hyperspace.
Great shot.
The further off the lock-on signal a ship is pulled, the more distorted her signals. Now, the first message we got from the Cortez was fairly strong, but it's fading.
Getting farther away.
But if we don't know where she is, how do we find her?
Triangulate.
There's a strong chance that some or all of the rescue ships might not make it back.
Jesus, do we really need to think about this then?
They'd form a line of lifeboats from the ship to the shore. It's a kind of lifeline.
The first fighter will stop just inside the gate.
Breadcrumbs.
Second fighter will proceed 1,000 kilometers further in and lock onto the signal of the first one. The third fighter will lock onto the signal of the second one.
Okay, good plan. We're gonna chain it up.
But if he's broadcasting a search signal in all directions, there's a chance the Cortez will pick it up.
Like a lure.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Good. You'll hit space in 5 minutes. Good luck.
Good hunting.
I'd give anything to be going with them right now.
So would I.
I know somebody that would be going with them.
God be between you and harm in all the empty places where you must walk. Bring the Cortez home.
I love that. This show's so good. Dear God.
Cortez, this is Babylon Control. Keep on broadcasting your Mayday.
We're homing in on it and sending a sheepdog to lead you home.
Everybody stay frosty. Jack, keep them frosty on the Cortez. Our guys are coming.
Hard to get a beat on it, sir. Radio locator doesn't want to settle.
Keep scanning.
Yes, sir.
I like having pilots. I know that you guys say that Jameis doesn't, but I like the lieutenant and I like Warren. They're both awesome.
I can't even hear the pilots now.
Oh, God.
All right, carry on. Why don't you take a break?
Why don't you?
Yeah.
Sir.
I can't.
And neither can she.
Jack's too old a friend. If this turns into a wake, I want to be here.
Is he the one that told you about the Egyptian blessing?
He was my first commanding officer.
Oh, my God.
The Old Moon Mars Patrol before the war.
John's first CO. Jeez, oh, Pete.
So if it's a wake, I'll drink with you. But until it is, why don't we just remember that blessing?
Susan hitting it out of the park this episode. This might be my favorite Susan episode.
I've got the signal. And locking on.
Go. I'll hold here.
Yes, sir.
This is an awesome, awesome idea, but damn, is it dangerous.
You believe that's our sheepdog?
No!
Dallas!
Navigation system inoperative. Communication disrupted.
Oh my God. They're going after the Cortez. They can't let anybody alive. They've seen him.
Scanning. Got him.
He's firing.
Come on. Figure it out.
What the hell's he doing? What's he shooting at?
The way home. He's firing in the direction he wants us to go. Can you calculate that?
I'm on it.
Oh my God, the kid's using the rest of his juice just to show them where to go.
Star Ferry, this is the Cortez. We can come after you. Do you copy?
Nav system not functioning. Engines down. If you come after me,
We'll both get lost. Go!
Oh, kid.
Thanks, Star Ferry. Pat. Lay in the course.
There is no way to get this kid. Oh my God. Jesus, kiss of death. I'm like, I like these guys. Dead. Should say dead, presumed dead. They got her. Oh my God.
Cortez, this is Babylon Control. Where are the other two fighters?
I'm sorry, Johnny. They didn't make it.
Oh, yeah, see, Sheridan, it's not all diplomacy.
So I asked myself, now who on the station could pull together the ingredients of Bunya Chowder so far from Earth? Your qualifications precede you, Mr. Orwell.
Orwell.
My father always made Bunya Chowder for me on my birthday. Well, Pop was a great cook, and Bunya was his specialty. So now I make it myself once a year. Honoring him, you know? It's the only part of him I got left.
Well, in that case, why don't you make enough for two?
I don't know, dickhead. You make me... Now I gotta cook for you?
I'm sorry for your loss.
That's the hard part, isn't it?
But they saved others. At the right moment, they were in the right place and knew what to do, as you did. Pain that sometimes comes is part of the process of constantly being born.
You sound like you've been doing some thinking about this on your own.
Perhaps. We are both, I suppose, going through transitions. But the universe knows what it's doing.
I just don't see it sometimes.
Then I will tell you a great secret, Captain.
Neither do I.
The molecules of your body are the same molecules that make up this station. And the nebula outside that burn inside the stars themselves. We are star stuff. We are the universe, made manifest, trying to figure itself out.
We are Stardust. I knew it. They're gonna find him.
We've been through a lot together, haven't we? Who would have thought?
Follow him, dude.
Computer. Analyze flight path of unknown object. Correlate to last sighting.
Stand by.
Go, kid. Piggyback on him. At least you won't be in there.
Sorry, Captain.
I like the comms officer, too. Hope he doesn't turn out to be a shithead like that second security officer.
Gate activated.
Oh my God. That means they came back here.
Request permission to dock.
Permission granted. Welcome home.
Thank you, sir.
Way to go, kid. God, brought tears to my eyes.
Commander Gallus. The best squadron leader I ever had.
To Gallus.
When it came through the first time, it was on a right angle to the gate's position. And once I figured that out, I just struck out in what seemed like the right direction. As for what it was...
Maynard saw it, so...
Lieutenant, I know this isn't a very good time for this. But Zeta Squadron needs a new commander. I've decided to give it to you.
Congratulations. Say, isn't John supposed to be here?
Trust me, Doc. You are gonna love this.
I can feel my arteries hardening just being in the same room.
Oh, come on.
I see you're hard at it, sir.
It's clearing his desk.
Give me an hour and I'll have everything under control here.
Yes, sir.
Ever had a long talk with Ambassador Delenn, Commander?
From time to time. Why?
She and the universe seem to have a special relationship.
Don't we all?
Ooh, my favorite Susan episode. My favorite Susan episode. She dropped some serious gems in this one.
Starstuff.
I love it. Oh, shit, this was a good one. Oh, my God. What am I saying? They're all good. I say it every time. I'm like, whoa, this episode was awesome. They're all good. All right, everybody, we just finished watching the 4th episode of Babylon 5's 2nd season, A Distant Star, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished watching A Distant Star, the 4th episode of Babylon 5's 2nd season. I mean, I said it at the end of the reaction. These they're just so good. They're just there's no episode that to this so far. Through the 4th episode of the 2nd season of Babylon 5, all of the 1st season in The Gathering, there hasn't been a storyline that I have seen or an element or a B plot or anything that I haven't been fascinated with, that hasn't added something to the story. There's no filler. There is absolutely no fluff. There's no, just a scene for a scene's sake. We're getting something out of each and every one of these. And the greatest thing about what JMS is doing here is where we think we're supposed to get this knowledge. Like, we had like a Sheridan focus, like questioning of faith, not necessarily his faith in some type of divine being or his faith, in himself or anything like that. It was the faith in where he was placed. Am I in even the right spot? Am I wasting my life? It was definitely, he had questions that were being formulated from all of this. And so you think, we're going to learn quite a bit about John in this episode. Good. We need to rush his characterization a bit to kind of catch him up to speed here in the second season. And then you get an answer to that questioning of faith. You have gems being dropped by Delenn, Starstuff. You've got Ivanova, who is my favorite episode with Susan. Has a special relationship with you, don't we all? Oh my God, that is perfect. It shows the maturation of not only Ivanova, and I think that's maybe even the wrong way to look at it. I think this is us seeing now, not necessarily that she's in the process of maturing. We're seeing, as an audience member, we're watching and realizing how mature and wise Susan already has been, and so the maturation process is actually us kind of coming up to speed with our perceptions of Ivanova's character, at least for me. I can't speak for everybody, but it really is. You look at Susan in a specific way, like a career military, she's very competent. She's kind of rediscovered her faith with the passing of her father, kind of came to grips with a lot of personal stuff. But the thing is, she is way wiser, way more experienced and sort of like, intuitive than I think I gave her credit for. No, hands down. This has absolutely really changed my perspective and perceptions of Ivanova. I thought that she had a fantastic episode. Again, hands down, my favorite one with her. Now, I thought the plan to rescue the Cortez was awesome. I thought it was a great idea to kind of, do like a relay race, or a breadcrumb trail was maybe more apt, to go into hyperspace. Another thing, in an episode that, you don't expect to get information from this particular corner, we were given a ton of info on what it is, what hyperspace is in the Babylon 5 universe, like what to expect. You can get lost in it. No one had ever been recovered before, presumably the Cortez, and then Warren making his way out. Incredible stuff. We had, again, this talking of the rim that we had with Morden. Hey, if you hear about anything on the rim, let me know about it. And we've got now Maynard, who was way out on the rim, or what will now be the the frontier that he had already kind of settled and scoped in sector 900. Jesus. So he's all the way out there, and he said he caught a glimpse of it, just a glimpse, just a peek, and he wasn't even on ship. He was out like on what he called a survey shuttle, and his second didn't see it, or the other person in the shuttle didn't see it. It saw a flash, they said, but he saw a bit of that spider shadow thing. It's just so deliciously mysterious. You know what I mean? It's like we know, the audience knows because we watched the destruction of the Narn outpost. We know what this group can do. We know that Morden has some type of weird, like whenever he was talking with the kind of spectral images of like those like multi-legged spider-esque creatures that were like, and he was talking about how, they basically already have Londo ready to go. So again, with all of that kind of spread into there, we, the audience, have a higher weight. We know more of what we're dealing with than perhaps any of our principal characters. In fact, I would guarantee that we do. Because none of them have actually engaged these things yet. You know what I mean? Warren probably has the most experience with them now, simply because, he was attacked by them, survived, and followed one out. Now, with all that being said, when he was lost in space, I almost said, God, I hope they don't find him and like do something to him and like send him back and he's just like not him anymore, that's sort of like a sci-fi trope that we've had in like other, even like Invasion, the Body Snatchers, things like that. But like I watch Fringe too, and you see these different, and no spoilers, but there's a possibility that you could have somebody that may not be who they appear. And so I was thinking, oh God, could they find him and maybe do like a reverse of what they like them in Minbari did with Jeff, you know, bring him on board, torture him, recondition him, like send him back out. I don't know what to expect from this group. And again, there's just so many question marks whenever we're faced with them. I mean, we don't even have a definitive look to either them or presumably like the personnel inside. We know they're kind of like arachnid, sort of, I guess. I mean, I'm not even like penciling that in because the image itself could be distorted, you know, those like big leg things or like traily things that come forward, they could all be just part of like the camouflage that's on there. Who knows? I mean, I certainly don't. It's just so well done. So incredibly well done. I mean, the big empty, I've heard that space referred to as the big empty before, but at the same time, I just think it was very space cowboy, you know, of Maynard to be, you know, wearing the boots, you know, out in the big empty. There's a really cool kind of like touchstone for us that there are definite like things going on outside of Babylon 5, things that we really need to pay attention to, and I need to pay attention to. You know, so, you know, knowing that all these things are happening on the frontier, knowing what an explorer ship is now, knowing that there's just a handful of them, you know, Sheridan, the respect that he had for Maynard and the ship class itself. Like if you're lucky, you might see 1 or 2 of these in your lifetime, you know, in your service deployment. Incredible stuff. The other thing though, in addition to the hyperspace, in addition to like just the kind of Ivanova, Sheridan kind of, you know, Delenn kind of movements that we have where we're kind of bringing them all in together, getting Sheridan to feel more comfortable about his place on Babylon 5, while also developing the character of Ivanova so well that they did, you know, all that aside. And then, I mean, of course, the Garibaldi, you know, Franklin stuff was fun. You know, that was fun, but I mean, we learned a little bit too, you know, it was really cool. But I'll tell you what, the one thing that's kind of sticking with me here is the fact that the Minbari are now looking at Delenn like, can we trust you? Who are you? What's your agenda? You know, do you still hold, I guess, I'm assuming like Minbari traditions and Minbari goals? Are they still yours? Or do you have new motivations? Do you have more new directions you were taking your life? You know, legitimate questions by the Minbari. And at the same time, now all of a sudden, Delenn's power seat is even shakier than it was before this metamorphosis. Delenn's entire transition is fascinating to me. I love it. And, you know, I'm going to say this too. I think it is very forward thinking of JMS. I think it was, you know, a story that had to have been told at any time period, but the ability to be able to say, you know, you basically define the term of transitioning, you know, to make then everybody else questioning of identity afterwards. These are heavy themes, and I am absolutely here for it. This is fantastic. I mean, it's almost prophetic writing on JMS's part, and I think that stuff is fascinating. As fascinating to me is JMS's approach to religion, societal instances and issues, is just as fascinating to me that he was able to like precog so much of this stuff, you know, decades prior. Just like in Star Trek, the original series, where we have flip phones, I find it equally fascinating that you are able to approach the human condition and kind of advanced think this type of stuff just as much as technology kind of mirrors the advanced thinking of the writers from decades prior. Friends, oh friends, we're dealing with something incredibly special that you all know and that I am learning every time we sit down to watch an episode. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to board Babylon 5. And of course, if there's anything that we do, Babylon 5 included, that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider sticking with us here on YouTube memberships. Get all of our episodes about a day early. But all my friends, all that is then and this is now, and unfortunately, it is time to say goodbye from Babylon 5. Well, where should we say goodbye from? Well, friends, I figured this as soon as they decided to come up with that plan. Friends, you and I are in our Star Furies. We're part of the chain that will hopefully lead the Cortez back to Babylon 5. We need to stay in hyperspace for a while. We need to keep our eyes peeled because that's part of the job. Do we see anything? And if we do, what is it? Friends, until we all know what it is, or at least I do, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.